Hi, welcome to part 4 of this final installment or series of presentations that I've done on this upgraded single bay NAS hard drive from Western Digital, MyBook World Edition White Light, which had its default factory installed hard drive of 1 terabyte capacity upgraded to amazing 3 terabytes, making this a very unique model that there is. Because only 1 and 2 terabyte models exist for this type of single bay NAS hard drive from the Western Digital. So it's still the same drive. So in this part of the presentation, I'm going to be connecting this NAS drive finally to the internet via this Ethernet cable. And then I'll be accessing it wirelessly through one of my routers through this laptop and going through the Network Storage Manager submenu on the web administration page a bit more thoroughly, and also giving you the final confirmation that this is a working 3 terabyte model. So without further ado, let's connect the power as we have previously. And now we're going to attach the LAN cable, which the other side is connected to a modem wired wireless router, which then goes or has access to the internet. As you can see, the NAS drive is firmly in place, powered up and connected to the local area network via that Ethernet cable that you can see in front of you, which I've mentioned to you in part 3, that it has access to my modem wired wireless router, which of course then has connection to the internet. So now we're just going to look at whether the drive is accessible under network. Perfect. It's available, both icons, and also this one, MyBook World, which means that I have set the NAS drive to be in the same work group. But you probably won't have this because I've already presetted some of the settings on the NAS hard drive. So we're just going to look at this icon to see what is the IP address for the web administration. It has changed accordingly. It's not the same one as it was in part 3 when the drive was connected just to the laptop via the laptop's LAN port. It has changed. This is the IP address which has been assigned by the wired or wireless router of my machine, or more specifically DHCP. Now if you wanted to reconnect your public or download folders, this would be the IP address to go about it. Something also worthwhile mentioning here, that if you want those 2 folders or other ones to be connected and visible, and most importantly accessible on your computer or my computer at all time, you need to set the NAS drive to have a static IP address or reserve a specific IP address that will be assigned only for the NAS hard drive. Let's see if I can still mount both 2 folders under this subnetwork IP address. Perfect. It still works. Alright. So nothing has changed, everything's still in working order, even when the drive is finally and actually as it should be connected to your wired or wireless router. Let's zoom out a little bit so you'll be able to see a little bit of the label of the drive to again give you the confirmation it's still the same drive. I haven't changed it or swapped it with another one or fooled you in any other way. I'll zoom in a little bit later. So for now this is confirmed in working order. I was just going to click on this web administration page in order to access the main administration page for the NAS hard drive, and then we're going to log in into the network storage manager submenu. The number at the end changed because I'm basically recording this video, this part of the video onwards, more than pretty much a month later. So I had to, during this time, disconnect the NAS hard drive and then reconnect it. So let's just click on this. Admin is the username and also the password for the network storage manager. So everything is still okay and available under basic mode, but I'm going to choose advanced mode because I like to set everything into detail. So system functions are accessible. Let's look at network. Still okay. Storage also fine. Media, users, and status. Alright, let's see if the help is also available. Alright, perfect. So also help is there to help us or guide us if we get lost. So let's have a look at system status. So this is again the IP address, which has changed. It's not 19 here at the end because, like I said, I'm recording this part of the video onwards, so well over 1 month later. I started on the 2nd of November, but I had to postpone, so I'm basically recording this part of this video presentation from here on the 10th of December 2017. And again, here you have through this data volume usage another confirmation. This is a 3 terabyte upgrade. Alright, and this is that. Let's look at system logs, if it's also available and it works. Alright, perfect. Nice, everything works. Let's see if we can clear it. Alright, nice. Let's look at this option. Also available, this one. Good, and settings. Alright, everything is available even if you upgrade the drive on this NAS hard drive for the enclosure and the allotted controller. Now let's go to users. All right, let's look at this option, users. So basically here you can add various users who will be able to access the NAS hard drive, set the various credentials. Someone can only see the files, therefore read. Someone can also make changes, therefore write, and so forth. I've already added the mod here, but basically he has pretty much administrator privileges. Let's have a look what each option has to offer. Alright, you can also here create groups, but we'll look on that a little later. Alright, let's look at mod. Yeah, grant administration rights. So everything works as it should. Of course, you can delete the mod because this is something I created additionally, but you cannot delete admin and WD backup. Let's see what this says. This one doesn't have administration rights. Let's leave it as such. So that's for users. Now we're going to look at groups. No groups, of course, naturally. Let's see if we can add a group, if the option is available. Okay, perfect. So what is the purpose of this group option? Let's see what the help has to say about it. Okay, nothing in particular, but my guess is that if, let's say, you want a certain number of users to access specific folders without going into detail to set the individual credentials for thereof, you can just simply add them to a group and then assign credentials to a folder based on people who are in a group. You can do that, so you don't need to set the individual credentials for each user. So somebody who is in a group can have rights such as only to read certain folders, but they cannot change the contents of thereof and similar. Alright, fine, let's go back. Alright, let's look at folder share permissions option. If it's available, accessible. Alright, everything looks to be in working order. I already created a private folder and set the necessary settings. Let's see. So this would be what I was talking about, pretty much. So here we have credentials set or assigned for this private folder, and they're set individually. So the only one who has full access is the mod, and the users who don't have any access are WD backup and admin. So they cannot access the contents of the private folder, they cannot modify it, so not even read it, nothing. But this is where you would probably make additional changes or credential settings based on if all of these users which are currently available would be in a group. So this is really handy. This is pretty much like how we would set credentials on a PHP BB forum, for instance. So this option also works, is available. Let's see the other How are with the other folders? So here we have just these options, but everything is in working order. Everything can be set. I'm not going to go into that last one. So we're just going to look at USB share permissions. Okay. This option would be, again, much more explained in detail if I would have had an additional external Western Digital hard drive that I would connect to the USB 2.0 port on the back of this NAS hard drive. All right, that's good. Everything's also accessible. Now we're probably going to look at media. All right, let's click the media server. That's probably the Twonky media server, so I'll most likely be redirected to that web administration page that I showed you in part 3, but let's see. Yeah, I was right. So instead of clicking onto that second icon in network, you can just also set the Twonky media server settings through this option. Let's look at iTunes. So again, also everything accessible, working. All right, so that is for media. Now we're going to go into the storage submenu. All right, now let's look at the disk manager. Again, another confirmation that this is a working 3 terabyte upgrade. Not only through the size, but also through the description, which tells you which hard drive is in the NAS enclosure itself. I'll adjust the camera so you can have a look at the hard drive. So I reposition the camera so you can see again the hard drive inside the enclosure of this NAS Western Digital product. I'll use my flashlight to shine on the drive because the lighting is poor. Maybe it won't be enough to see the rest of the data on the sticker. Maybe I'll try to reposition the camera again. There we go. Right below serial number under the MDL, you can see the drive's model in much more detail. So it is the same hard drive. Now that it hasn't been changed, swapped, this isn't hacked, fake, and so forth. Again, another much more condensed view. Maybe you'll be able to make out the numbers in the MDL section, right below serial number on the sticker of the drive. All right, let's move on. So disk manager sub option is checked out. Let's look at volume status. Also perfect. Again, another confirmation. This is a 3 terabyte upgrade. This shows you, of course, the drive is pretty much empty. Let's go to the other options. They're accessible. Let's look at folder shares. That probably won't be any different than the users option. Yeah, so basically you have currently available root share folders and which services run or are allowed to run under each folder. Private is something that I've set prior to that. Let's have a look. Yeah, so basically you can here take various services that you want to run under a specific root folder. You can delete also, I can also delete private, but not the other two. So let's see what's under USB disks. Yeah, naturally, of course, this is for expansion, therefore that USB 2.0 port on the back of the NAS hard drive. So if I would have had an external Western Digital hard drive, then I could probably see additional options here. Quota, you can probably already guess what is that about. Yeah, you can basically enable the Quota service on this NAS drive, so managing how much space each individual or each user can take up. This is probably, yeah, you can here set the individual quota rights or credentials for each user that exists or is registered on this NAS hard drive. I don't know, let's have a look at one of these. Oh, perfect. Also available, so nothing is corrupted, everything is still available. Now the last downloads. So this is probably for if you're using microtorrent and similar services. So where do you want those downloads to go? You can also change them to other folders, public, private, and other ones of your choosing. And of course here you can change the default password. Alright, now next up is network. Now let's have a look at the LAN submenu or option, if it is accessible and what it displays. Alright, everything seems to be working. So let's see, yeah. Here you can also then assign a static IP address on the NAS hard drive itself, therefore enabling, you could say, all-time accessibility, unless you want to go into the network icon or option in Windows Vista and have to remount all of those root folders on your My computer. So if you want to fiddle with that, fine, but if you want something, all the folders to be accessible to all the users on your network, then you would probably have to assign a static IP address to this NAS hard drive. So this is also available and working order. Let's see what services, options. So here you can also set the various services that you want to be available or to run on this NAS hard drive and additional options. So everything is again available. It's not grayed out or disabled, or if you would have clicked to this you would have get an error. So this is again a fully functional working 3 terabyte upgrade with all of its original features available. So Workgroup. Yeah, so here you can assign whether you want to be in a workgroup or a domain member. Also available. The workgroup option is what you have seen at pretty much at the beginning of this video presentation when I went to the network option in Vista. That is also how you can access the drive. Let's see what's under remote access, if it's also available. Good, also available, working. So this is probably for, as it says, remote access, if you want to access this NAS hard drive outside of your own home network. I haven't used this service, so I don't know how to really go about it. So I don't have a MyoNet account and so forth. So that's for network. And then we have the last submenu in the advanced mode, and that is system. So this is the last stop. probably in this entire video presentation. If you managed to stick around for this long, congratulations. Now let's go through all of these sub-menus or sub-options under System for the last time. Well, basically the first time. So general setup also available, accessible. So here you can set the various options, also how you want to name your NAS hard drive and the device name, the time zone, the time servers. I don't need to. So this is also working order or available. Let's see, alerts setup. Okay, this is also available. I actually never used this because I haven't used this NAS hard drive as much. So email notification, yeah, so we would probably here set up the various options and settings to enable notifications sent to your email address or various of thereof that you have. Not going to go into this. So we'll just unclick and look at this. Yeah, so this is also available. I don't know how this works, so let's look at what the help menu has to say. Interesting. Temperature, hard drive volume, USB user group events. Useful. This is almost like a security feature as such. So that is also accessible, available. So here we'll probably change the admin password. Let's see if you can. Yeah, I'm not going to do this, but just to show you that the menu and the options are available. Update. This NAS hard drive comes with the latest and last firmware. There aren't any new ones out. Probably not even custom ones, but I haven't researched that field very much. So this is the last firmware that is available. Here you can also update or revert to an older firmware if you wish. But you know, with the new one or the last one, there aren't any problems. Unlike the Western Digital MyCloud, which we know has a lot of problems with the latest 4.xx version firmware, but that is another topic for another video discussion. So everything is also available and working. And then we have the restore configuration. Let's see what's under here, or even possible. Oh, okay. So you can also save all the settings that you have under all of these sub-menus. Perfect. Everything works if you do it right. Let's see what's under advanced. Root access, yeah. So if you want to make additional changes or hacks to the NAS hard drive, you would of course have to enable this and then through PuTTY program make the necessary changes as such. These are some other options. Here you can also disable the hard drive going into standby mode, and the indicator lights, which are here. So with this we can fiddle around. Let's see if we disable them, if they'll turn off. Perfect. All right, let's enable them back and let's see if they'll turn on again. What the hell? Hello? Alright, so that works also with a little jet lag, if you want to call it. So the last option, reboot or shutdown. Let's see if it's also accessible. All right, perfect. But I'm not going to go into these two right now. Just wanted to see if they're available. So that's pretty much about it for this entire video presentation. Before I wrap up this video presentation, part 4, I'm thinking if I could just briefly guide you through the basic mode, basically show you a comparison how it differs from the advanced mode. Well, let's go about it very quickly. So device name, this is all the options that you can set here. Date and time. So this is this part, very elementary. Network, so here you can decide whether you want a static or a dynamic IP address assigned to your NAS hard drive. Users, here you can of course add all the users and make the necessary credentials. Folder shares. Yeah, you can create new folders and then assign various settings. System status. Again, another confirmation. This is a 3 terabyte working upgrade. Remote access. That probably won't be any different than that. Yeah, it's the same. And this option probably also won't be any different than the previous one. Yeah, it's also the same. Now, right before I wrap up this video presentation, I'm just going to give you one last time the comparison or the proof. Again, this is the same hard drive that I have inside the enclosure. So the numbers here match the ones on the screen. So this is possible and doable. Before I really say goodbye for the final time and end this, well, to my standards, awful too long video presentation or video proof for this working 3 terabyte upgrade for this Western Digital NAS hard drive, I'm going to mention a few things, so basic future announcements, if you want to call it. Originally, when I embarked on this journey to make a couple of videos, video presentations, video proofs that this is a working 3 terabyte upgrade or model as such, I always thought that I will make maybe 3 videos, but then when I made sort of a plan on what I'm going to say in each video, I soon realized that this is not going to be only a sort of a three-part series on this NAS hard drive. So when also I had additional ideas that started pouring into my mind, I saw this could really become lengthy, so I decided to make smaller videos. But even these smaller videos are really long because I go into detail to prove that every function in terms of operating system that is installed on the NAS hard drive is available, it's not grayed out or disabled. So you can make this upgrade or this leap in capacity upgrade achievable goal. So this is not something that only people with specific knowledge can achieve. It's because in order to make this upgrade, it's actually really easy from the software viewpoint. Well, speaking, part 4 is not the final video in this entire video series on this NAS hard drive in terms of its achievement hack upgrade. Even when I was recording part 3, making the plan for it, what I'm going to say, I knew that after part 4 there's going to be sort of a conclusion video where I would address concerns and limitations in terms of how high you can go in terms of upgrading the internal hard drive on this NAS enclosure as such. So what is the maximum capacity, and also what color classification oriented Western Digital Editions hard drives are supported. So this is a sort of a spoiler alert to part 5, or should I say actually part 6 video. That will be actually really the last one. While I'm still thinking about whether I should do part 5 or just include the conclusional video, nevertheless, part 5 is going to be centered on basically showing you how to access this NAS hard drive, and of course giving you another confirmation that this is a working 3 terabyte model. Part 5 is going to be centered on when I'm going to be recording the video itself on my Samsung Galaxy Note 4 smartphone. So how to access your NAS hard drive through your phone. Of course, in my case, this will be done only while I'm still connected in the same home network, but nevertheless. So the phone that I'm going to be using for part 5, if it's going to give birth, is Samsung Galaxy Note 4. This is also the phone that I have made all of my videos on my YouTube channel, if I haven't mentioned it already. The model is SM-910C if you're really interested. So these are the plans how I plan to guide this ship into harbor and finally conclude this video series on this NAS hard drive. If you manage to stick around again through part 4 from start to finish, congratulations. So if you found the presentation interesting, if you want to add something, point out that I misspelled something or I made mistakes somewhere, let me know in the comment section below. So like, comment, share, and if you want to subscribe, that will also be great. This is David or Dave telling you goodbye, and we'll see you in part 5 or the conclusional video.